Hello, and welcome to Gunpla Reviews, where it is myself versus my shelf, some 150 model kits, and a queue of reviews to do. Today's challenger is the XGMF-X42S Destiny Gundam. Yes, I said that wrong on purpose. This kit was released 2005 by our glorious Bandai overlords. This is a 4-page manual, wherein the tradition, one side black and white, the other side full of color. Now let's turn this right side out so we can get a nice and hearty look at it here. Scrolling on by. Now, in light of the upcoming HGCE Destiny Gundam, this is the High Grade Gundam SIEG Destiny Gundam, which is the first release of the kit, in high grade form. What we have here is a boy whose backpack needs to come off. But let us take brief note that, as we can see, this is one of those glorious model kits that can hold all of its ornaments without having to put anybody in the shelf. Effect parts aside. So we're gonna remove this easily removable backpack. I'm just struggling as to not break anything. It's a simple rectangular peg, so it is not like the other Gundam SIEGs where they've got switchable backpack modules. This one is very exclusive. We're gonna pop off this beam rifle, which is just a simple peg here, and discuss how well this boy moves around. From the top down, the head, get some headbang in here. Let's turn it to the side. We get full exorcist twist there. Can look up before you can start to feel like you're gonna pop it. Doesn't really move down very much. At the arms, we get the full shoulder rotation, the extent of its arm up over its head, and then that's just the shoulder piece there. We get a nice bicep twist there, followed by a mere 90-degree elbow. This is a 2005 model kit. The hands, of which I've chosen to use the open hands, which kind of fit into these little grooves here. These hands don't have a whole lot going on, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this boy right over and grab one of the other hands, which it might be in my head, but I believe these sockets are two different lengths. The case may be that there is a fifth hand in the set somewhere in my box and I didn't find it to pull it out. Let's take a moment and see if I can. As you can see, I have a very large selection of hands. I'm pretty sure he's not in here because these are categorized by open hands, which may or may not tell you some things that you will see in the future. Surely not in there. Let's look a bit harder over here, because I'll admit I didn't look very hard at all. I just presumed it was only two sets of hands. And if this sound isn't pleasant, I'm sorry. But if it is, have a little ASMR in there for you. But it does not appear that unless I have so many different sets of hands and piles therein, but we have the weirdo hands. And I know this is kind of padding out the length. Ah. Aha. The incomplete hands were most certainly indeed hiding the other half. There, focus. There we go. Same length. So, what we can see, this is just a slightly different length. I'm fairly certain that the longer peg is intended for holding the gun. I'm glad I found that, because that's important to share. Moving back along and not wasting any more time. We do have some very curious articulation here in the shoulder. You can see, I'm going to turn your head aside. You can see that it also pulls out from the shoulder, but this is not the usual joint that we see in some. It's slightly different, but I would say that it's kind of a beginning, a predecessor to the kind of shoulder joints that we get today. As you can see right here, it's on a peg, and even that peg inside rotates itself. So it's got some good flex in there. Some flex at the waist. I don't think I have it pressed all the way down, so you do get kind of a little wobble. But again, a nice clean exorcist twist. I'm going to move the arms out of the way. Side skirts do this with the full back and forth. Front skirts do this, and judging by the way that kind of felt a little loose, I believe this is the kind that requires separation rather than come separated. So we're gonna pull these forward and get a full kick out. This is our kick back. Almost. And then if we don't, flying crane kick. Very funny. Unintentional. We get at least a 90% bend, but it's not quite there. And then we get the ankle armor. We get foot to the front. A nice foot all the way back if my hand weren't blocking. Ha ha ha. Let's do that again. Front and back. When we bring this back forward, it also gets a little side to side, because that is just a ball joint in there. Now that we've covered this boy's articulation, which is very good, I'm going to give him 4.5 stars of articulation. We'll talk about some of the accessories. You can see on the back of this hand here that this yellow piece pops off. Now that is consistent throughout all of the backs, but it is less useful when it comes to these open hands. It's there, but it's not going to be as good considering. Each of the open hands here, focus, there we go, you'll see that it is detailed with the flash palm, the palma fiocina. I don't speak Italian, French. I really don't know what language that is. I'm so sorry. But both of these open hands, let's even show off this one, have that little bit of detail built into them, so you can pose it in a flying, I'm gonna shining finger you. It probably wouldn't be too bad were it not for the built-in backing to attach that to, say, a Shining or a God Gundam. That'd be a nice detail, even though they would be the wrong color. The moral of the back, taking these yellow pieces off, is for the shield effect part. The shield, wherein most plug into the wrist, that plugs right into the hand. And then you pop your yellow piece right back in there. So it comes out, mathematically speaking, offset. But, you know, imagine the piece pops out and then the shield comes forth. Not unlike a G-Savior or an F91. And that boy pops right in there. Plugged in. That's the back of the hand falling off. I will say that has happened to me a few times before, so I don't really use the shield a whole lot. Not on my shelf. we do observe that there are pegs here at the back of the wrist armor, or whatever you call that, the forearm. There's nothing to plug into those. So I feel like at least this runner that this came from must be used on another kit, so something does plug into the back of there. Probably the Impulse or the Justice or the Aegis or whatever. I don't know. I don't have those kits. Moving forward, the beam boomerangs. These are stored right there in the shoulder with no problem at all. And comes with two different effect parts. You have a longer beam effect part, so you can use this as your standard beam saber. And then a much shorter and more angled effect part, which I think I put that in backwards. Nope, I had that in right. An angled effect part for recreating the throwing motions. And that simply just slides right in there. Holds in place very firmly. Over here at the beam rifle, no stickers on this boy. Please focus. Thank you, camera. No stickers. The handle, of course, articulates back and forth, as does the scope. So you can use that freely, left or right, as is your wont to do. I'm going to pop the back of this off, because there's no... maybe this is more of a trigger hand. At least that did not fall off into the void of boxes down below the filming zone. Now slide that back in right there. Pop this bad boy in 10,000 years weight. And there you go. Ah, I see now. This has more of an outward angle, so it doesn't clash within itself. Bam. Now you have your standard gun and sword combination. However, as we know, that fell off. That is not the end all and be all of this boy. Because I took the backpack off, I wanted to make sure we got a full range of motion without that backpack in the way. So let's squeeze that back in there. That doesn't want to... Ah! It occurs to me that that's why I need to fill this gap in, because this piece comes off way too easy. Or rather, I need to thicken this piece up. So that's a note for later. Harass me in the comments to see if I've done that at some juncture. Let's pop this wrist off here, because we're going to move forward and talk about the backpack. I want to get... where'd the other hand go? Oh, I chucked it back in the box. Right. Moving forward, we come forth, plugging the backpack back into its intended position. The backpack has a, excuse me, it's hard to show, a moving thruster piece here. These casings have some articulation here. They both do the exact same thing. So we're gonna pop these these weapons out here. Both of these will fold down and fit just under the arm there. The wings here can flex fully up here. They have a little bit of back and forth, and a little bit of back and forth right there at the base. Now these also further extend, because that just fits right in there. They just slide right in. And if you were concerned about not having the good parts, this boy comes with the good parts. Now this might be a pain in the butt to assemble on camera, but we're going to try. We might only just put one in there. This is going to plug in right here at the wings, but you also have to observe these tabs here in the side, because they alternate up, down, up. It gets a little tricky to fit that in there, but once it's in, press this wing down, say give it a little pressure, and I failed. So it occurs to me while I spent that time off screen trying to put the wing in, that is very particular about which side each piece goes on. The embossed or imprinted or textured side will go on the outside, and the flat will be facing towards you. As for this black piece over here, that just easily pops in and out. It's a separate piece. I'm glad it's not a sticker, because then a sticker would be absolutely terrible for connection. So we're going to try to do this other one on camera now that I've learned my lesson. It slots in, you'll see it's got tabs, so I suppose try to push that center tab towards the opposite way, and it makes it 110 times easier to put into place. Because look, bam, done. And this boy stands up. Now, I do believe that unless you position these wings just right, and they are heavy, that they will block this cannon, which we will discuss. Hence, the cannon, as you see it is notched, fits right here into this equally notched piece. It'll slide right in there. And then you will flip fold this out, just like in the show. And it also possesses an extra handle. This handle goes back and forth, and it has some twist to it, so you can grip however it is that you prefer to grip. But I do believe you will have to pop the hand out, hook that bad boy in there, pop the entire backpack off, which is not part of the plan. It's much easier to deal with that. Well, okay, yeah, there we go. Got it. I know I'm off screen. It's just easier to work putting pieces back on outside of the camera, because then I'm not blocked by the camera. So there we go. This is the desired result. I'm gonna plug this back into here. I do need to put some fixture, some solution, a problem solver on this handpiece, but then that will slot itself right back into place. It fits. I'm just having a hard time getting to the part, and then the hand pops off. So that's going to be an issue, you know, looking forward into the future with the new release. Because as you can see here, live on camera, there's a battle. There's a struggle being waged simply on equipping this gun. There we go. The struggle is real, but we make it through. Then let's go ahead and try to pop this wing back in place without ruining all of our hard work. It kind of got in there. There it goes. It does the move. Now it does kind of hold the gun at an angle, but that's probably an articulation limitation. Something, again, we look forward to having fixed in the HGCE line. Elsewhere, we have the sword, another gloriously folding piece. This unfolds like that. You kind of want to make sure this stuff is lined up. Down here at the base, once you get a grip, you'll pull these two bits out. I'm lucky enough to have fingernails to make this easy. And this, of course, comes with a beam effect part. It's very particular. There's a flat tip here. Yeah, there we go. This tip is flat. It's very hard to see on camera because it's so shiny. You'll slot that, bam, right in there. And then side slide this here. This will help keep your blade nice and straight. And bam, like so. Carried well in its other hand. It's a bit on the heavy side, so you'll have to position it just right. But as you can see, he holds all of his gear, and we're just gonna not bother to plug that back into the back for now. So, yo boy, the High Grade SIEG Destiny Gundam. How do we feel about this? ZEON says, prototype it. It's got problems that, you know, of course, show with its age. And considering that we're getting a new release of this, I can't very well go and tell you to go and buy this kit, because buying the older one, unless the new one doesn't come with these effect parts, there's no sense in buying an old when the new is coming forth, and it's going to be leagues better. But I did want to get my word out for those of you that want to sit there and compare, well, what was the old one like? Because that one's going on 15 years old. You want a comparison? Here you go. It's sturdy, it's very flexible, but it does have some problems, maybe with the fitting here at the back of the hand, the positioning and inserting of the wing effect parts is kind of a pain in the butt. And the worst part about it is trying to hold this gun in place, because even now, having tapped it maybe once, it's already dipped down, and it's a pain in the butt just to get it to grip the weapon. But I thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for more Gunpla reviews and other model kit styles outside of the Bandai and Kotobukiya timelines. But as always, ZEON.